Good morning, guys. This session is a crash course in GraphQL, Hasura, Apollo, and Vue authentication in 30 minutes. Yeah. So again, I'm Devlin Duldulao, a senior consultant at Inmera. I do full stack web and mobile development. Okay, to begin, what is GraphQL? Yeah. It is a specification, a query language for your API that provides a more efficient, powerful, and flexible client-server communication alternative to REST. What it means by a specification is that GraphQL is only a set of general guidelines on how to query data in a really efficient way, but you may use different approaches or design patterns when implementing GraphQL. What's good is that there are already GraphQL implementations in different languages. You can build a GraphQL server using Python, C#, Java, JavaScript, Elixir, Ruby, Scala, PHP, and more. Now, who's using GraphQL? These are the companies that are using GraphQL in production, and it's growing fast. We have PayPal, New Relic, Pinterest, Twitter, Lyft, GitHub, Facebook, and Shopify, to name a few. So before we differentiate GraphQL from REST, let's see what's common between them. Both are stateless, produce data in JSON format, available in any server-side languages and front-end frameworks. Now let's see what are the differences between the two. First, REST has these multiple round trips to collect the information from multiple resources, whereas in GraphQL, it has one single request to collect the information by aggregation of data. Next, multiple endpoints in REST. In GraphQL, it is single endpoint. This makes GraphQL more maintainable and more user-friendly. Next, overfetching and underfetching data resources in REST. While in GraphQL, you only get what you ask for. What else? In REST, caching is built into HTTP spec. GraphQL, on the other hand, has no automatic caching system, but libraries like Apollo and Relay can do the caching for you. And here's a sample of GraphQL query that you can send from a client app to a GraphQL server. OK, so let's check this out one by one. First, we have a query here. Query is a read-only operation requested to a GraphQL server. Other types are mutation, this one, and subscription. So mutation is a read and write operation, while subscription is used for creating WebSocket connections, which allows the server to push live data to the client. OK, here we have object type, which is the most basic component in GraphQL schema. It's being used here as requested field, and that will be the object to be returned. And here is scalar type. Can be a primitive type, such as string, int, boolean, float, and ID, or custom type. So one advantage of GraphQL is that you can be very specific about which kind of data you want to retrieve. You want to get the to-dos data here, this one, but only the ID and title. So while for the other properties, columns, of the to-do object that are, let's say, stored in the database, let's say is completed or created at, here for this query, we're not fetching them. Here's another example of GraphQL query. There's the operation type again, this one, and operation name. That's optional, but will help you in debugging and server-side logging. And variable definitions, this one $sign. And so GraphQL queries allow you to be more specific regarding which data you want to fetch, and that can reduce the amount of data which is transferred over the wire. OK, let's go to getting started. To start, you need to build a GraphQL server, then use GraphQL on the front end. This is how you would write object types in C#. This is schema in Java. Schema manages queries and mutations, and also defines what is allowed to be executed. And in the GraphQL server, this is how you would write query in Python and mutation in Node.js. but we're not going to write any of those. Nope. Instead, we will use Hasura GraphQL Engine. It is an open source service that gives you instant real-time GraphQL APIs on Postgre with fine-grained access control. Finally, demo time. So let's go to Google and Hasura here. Hasura, go to backend, and Hasura, yeah, and let's go to next page, Hasura, yep, and there will be a button here, deploy to Heroku. So you need to sign up here. So I'm logging in, login. Okay, so I'm naming the app, let's say, VueConf Toronto demo, and then deploy app. And just wait for a few seconds. View, okay, click it, and Heroku will create a GraphQL server for you. And this is a Hasura dashboard with GraphQL playground. And let's go here, data. Let's create a Postgre table. Let's name it to-dos, ID, integer auto increment. Say title will be text, and say is completed will be Boolean. Let's set a default value, just false. And then created at will be timestamp. So let's use a Postgre function here, just now. And then ID as primary key, add table. Let's jump back to GraphQL here, dashboard, playground. Let's remove this. And let's send our first query here. Title, send it. Of course, it will be an empty array. But at least we know that it's working. Now let's try mutation. Okay, so insert to-dos. You get this autocomplete or IntelliSense due to GraphQL's strongly typed nature. And this is input here, this object we're passing. Title, attend Vue conference. Okay, it needs to return something here, like returning affected rows. Okay, cool. Let's try to send that. Okay, let's move this first. Yeah, affected rows, 1, meaning we were able to save 1. Now let's manually create more. Let's go back here, data, to-dos, insert, travel, it, yeah, code, rows, very simple one, sleep, yep, and then let's resend the query here, getting the collection of to-dos, query, to-dos, title, let's say, not the ID, the other one. Yeah, it's completed. Yeah, beautiful, it's working. So now I'm grabbing this because I have installed GraphQL playground on my machine. Here, just to let you show that it's not only working here, it's also working in any client app. So this is it. Let's move it here. This is too small. Yeah. So there you go. You'll see this schema and docs tabs here. These are automatically generated by Hasura for you. So these are the schemas, but you don't need to write it. It's a lot. And here's the docs. These are the allowed queries, allowed mutations. You'll also see there the object types, allowed subscriptions. Here. Yeah, there's a lot. So yeah, let's try it out. Here, let's send it query, but let's delete it. So by default, no operation type means a query. To-dos. Yeah, it's working. What else? Let's try subscription. So let's use a WebSocket here. So it's listening. And let's jump back here, data. Let's insert a single to-do that will, update the client app. Let's say visit grandma. Yep, that should update here. So here it is, visit grandma. So, or else let's try to just get a single to do here. So let's name it get to do by ID, very simple, and then the variable ID and the type int, and here we're passing it here, and where then this input here should return true or false ID, which is equal to this one, this ID that we're passing to make it dynamic. And what you need to do is you go here, query variables, and you put here your variable, the value, ID. Let's try 1, send. So there you go. Yeah. So that's sending a query to a GraphQL backend. So here is Apollo, which is the one in the middle. Apollo client will take care of requesting and caching your data, as well as updating your UI. So here's how to write a GraphQL query in a Vue.js app with the help of Apollo. Let's open up a terminal here. Yeah, and I need to create a Vue.js app. VueConf Toronto. Yep. Yes. Manually. Remove a linter. And enable router or router. Okay. Default. And no, yeah, default. Okay. Let's wait for a few seconds. Let me drink my water first. Now let's open up VS Code here. And yeah, the project name. So here it is. This is going to be a dead simple implementation of Apollo here. So we need to install 4 packages here. Okay. npm install vue Apollo GraphQL tag vue CLI plugin Apollo, and then lastly Apollo boost. Yeah. Okay. And we're bringing in 2 packages here, the Apollo boost, and the other one will be, say, import view Apollo. Yeah, view Apollo. And then we need to create a provider. So let's put it here. let's name it Apollo provider, and then yep, new view Apollo default client, new Apollo client, and then URI. Let's jump back to the playground, grab this, copy, and drop it here. Yeah, that's it. Now we're done here. Let's call the plugin. Let's call view use, and then pass in the plugin, and then the provider. Yep. Okay, so yeah, that's simple. Next is we need to create GraphQL query. Let's put it here inside, let's say, inside GraphQL directory, and inside of that queries directory, and then let's name it Auth0 GQL. So that's the file. Now, okay, let's go back to the playground, and we're going to test it here, all our queries and mutations. Let's delete this query to-dos, just, making sure that this is working, but it's not. Oh yeah, I think, yeah. Let's delete this. Yeah. Then if everything's good, like this one, just copy paste back, paste it here. Let's name it Auth0, same as the file. Okay. Then next step is let's clean this up. This default UI here, and as well as this, we have to remove this. Also this. And just few lines of codes here. The home page, say, works, to make sure that we're on the right page. Pull up query, so that's a tag, that's a component. And here, query, require the file name, the path of the file name, queries, and then Auth0 GQL. Next is we need to create a slot here. You can use a hash sign or pound sign, but I'm using here vslot. And then result, the object here. We need the error and data. So if there's an error, yeah, please let me know. Try again. And then if there's an existing, if data exists, let's loop inside the data, like v4 to do in data that to-dos, then key to do ID, and then we're almost there to do title. Yeah, npm run serve. Okay, that will open up my default browser, or we can open it up here. Safari. There you go. So let's zoom in. Yeah, and refresh. So it's working. Yeah. So that's yeah. Thank you. So that's a quick way of adding a GraphQL query in a Vue.js app. So next is how to write a mutation. Okay, let's go back to VS Code. We need to create another GQL file. Let's remove this first. So yeah, another GQL file. for mutation, then we need to jump back to GraphQL client, that dark thing here. Yep. We'll test out the mutation here first. Again, let's remove this. Mutation. Delete. Let's try to delete one here where ID is equal to, let's say, let's remove the travel here. Oh, no, it's not string. It's an int. Okay. Send, yep, it's deleted. Then let's name it remove to do. Then the variable int, yep, something like that. Yeah, it's all good, but if you want to, add a variable here, this is how you do it. But yeah, we're not gonna need that. Copy, drop it here. Okay, let's go to home. Let's add like a styling, like a, say, cursor pointer. Style. Cursor pointer. Okay. And click event, of course. So we're trying to delete an object here. To do. And let's create that method. Methods, say async, remove to do, or remove, yep, to do. Then await this Apollo.mutate, and then mutation, the path of your mutation file, delete. So GraphQL mutations, inside of that is the remove to do. And then, of course, the variable here, which is an ID. And let's pass the to do ID. And then to update the UI, let's just make it simple, refetch, instead of using the cache. It's going to be more complex. We don't need to do that. Query require. GraphQL queries, all to do's. Okay, save. Let's jump back here, refresh. So yeah, it's not working on Safari. Let's use Chrome. Yeah, I think so. Yep, and then remove this slip. Cool. So yeah, that's how you would add GraphQL mutation in Vue.js app. Okay, so, oops. And last in our list is Vue authentication. I will be using Auth0 here. Auth0 provides a universal authentication and authorization platform for web, mobile, and legacy applications. And I have another VS Code here with a copy of the app we just built. But with added login feature to save time, I included these two packages here, the Auth0 SDK and Bootstrap for quick styling. Okay, so let's open up that second VS Code. Here. So that's it. Yeah. So I've created an Auth0 config file here. You can get your own domain ID and client ID from a free plan Auth0 account. And here's the wrapper, the plugin. And I'm using the Auth0 Spa.js here. And here, it's just a Vue component. Yeah, the data loading is authenticated, user, Auth0 client. What else? The methods are here, login with pop-up. By the way, just copy and paste this from Auth0 documentation, paste it here. handle redirect callback. Redirect URI is sometimes referred to as the callback URL. And what else? We have login with redirect, get ID token claims, get token silently, which caches the authorization code in memory. Yep, create Auth0 client. And yeah, finally here, exporting it as a plugin. And what else? AuthGuard. So what are we using here? We're using this AuthGuard in the router. Let's go to router here. And we're using it here before enter. You need to pass something that returns a Boolean there. And here's the AuthGuard, which returns true or false. And it's the index, AuthGuard. So it's just checking if authenticated, return true. If not authenticated, return false. Don't let them pass. So changes here. Let's go to main.js. This is the config and the Auth0 plugin. And nothing else. Yep, we're calling view. Views, Apollo prop, yep. And what about the app.view? We have navbar here. And the navbar is just actually component with a bunch of vif, checking if authenticated, show logout button. If not authenticated, show the login button. And what else? The bootstrap here. Yep. I think that's it. Let's quit this, stop, and then here, let's run this npm run, serve. Okay. Refresh. Of course, I'm not authenticated yet. Here, I'm signing up. Let's say Naruto Uzumaki at Gmail. If you're a fan of Naruto, okay. Password. Sign up. Yeah. Accept. I don't read that anyway. Okay. Please try again. So there's something wrong here. Probably the URI. Yeah. So we need to go back here. Just grab this, copy, paste it here, save, and then jump back here, refresh. Log in, checking profile. And there you go, the name of the user. And then let's try to delete this. Yeah, it works like a charm, baby. Okay, so to wrap up, summary, we've learned what is GraphQL and why, Hasura, Apollo, Auth0. GraphQL, again, is a specification, a query language that ensures data is efficiently generated and accessed. Hasura is an instant real-time GraphQL engine that connects to your databases and microservices and instantly gives you a production-ready GraphQL API. Apollo Client is a client-side library that leverages the power of GraphQL API that handle data fetching and management for you so that you can spend less time plumbing data and more on building your application. Auth0 provides authentication and authorization as a service. It gives developers and companies the building blocks they need to secure their applications without having to become a security expert. Links and references, if you want to learn GraphQL, I think this is, in my opinion, this is the best place to go. howtographql.com, and Hasura docs, auth0.com, Vue Apollo, and yeah, we're hiring. If you want to try Norway or you want to live in Norway, yeah, in Meta it's hiring. And yeah, that's my email. So while you're writing down my email, usually I do selfie, but I'm not going to do that here. So that, the room is too wide. I'll just do a panorama. Oh my God, how do you do panorama? Panorama. Yeah, yes. Just raise your hands, guys. Show me some love. Okay. Yeah. So. Oh, you want to try it again?
Oh.
Okay, yeah, one more time. No worries, no worries. Okay, from right. Ooh, oh my God. Yeah, thank you guys, thank you guys. Okay, so yeah, I'll hang around for questions. Please don't hesitate to approach me later. Okay, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy. Thanks, sir.